What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscriber died trying. You see the thumbnail. The behind closed doors hypocrisy. So I was watching Joe Budden and Nicki Minaj, but I think there's like more of an IG video, and they were just discussing their interview. And at a point, Nicki has an issue with black men, like kind of like a fresh and fit diss about, treating sisters wrong on air. And she was like, if we got issues, we need to handle that behind closed doors. And a part of me was like, she did say if people don't like her, they're going to come out in droves to hate on her about her interview. So technically I'm a hater, but I think what needs to be talked about is the bigger issue of you can't have it both ways, because sisters have been publicly saying and doing all kinds of stuff to brothers for years, for decades. And that wasn't behind closed doors. And they felt like they were voicing their opinions and voicing their frustrations and telling the truth and being truth tellers and being canaries in the coal mine. And these guys are this and these guys are that. And a lot of the stuff wasn't even true. But it's okay, because we're just going to keep repeating the story and let it exist. And in the meantime, ever since, internet and cameras and whatnot, we've got to a space where sisters they have more say over their image than anybody, because women and men gravitate to females doing things on social media. So a lot of sisters have gone viral in a lot of different ways. So what happens is a lot of the black female image is really driven by a lot of black females. And you want guys to address the behaviors and the hypocrisies and the bad image behind closed doors, when, for one, you publicly put us on Front Street in a bad way, that and some things were true and some things weren't. But you publicly put yourself out on Front Street in a bad way, and now we're not supposed to address it publicly? It's like, nah, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, because at the end of the day, we can't stop you from posting yourself the way you're posting yourself. We can't stop you from advertising yourself the way you're advertising yourself. This is a you issue. But just like, you ladies are tied to us men, and you don't like the negative backlash or blowback from being black, or whatever negativity is involved with black men. We don't like the negativity and blowback that's attached to black women. So we're going to say something about it. And sometimes we're going to do something about it. So when that happens, now we got to put on the kid gloves, as Sister George and Concrete Rose would say. Because I asked this question on their show, like, what are we doing? Because using Nicki Minaj as an example, it was okay when she was walking around the stage with crazy colored wigs, cat suits, wearing dildos. That was okay for the image of the black woman. When guys are like, and you got to understand, her show was predominantly women. That's her audience, is predominantly women. Women and gay men. So how are we going to talk about that behind closed doors when it was packing the house for years and years and years in every major city and second tier and third tier cities, arenas nationwide? That people were showing up by the tens of thousands, but, gravitating to the bad behavior and then taking that bad behavior out in public. And now we need to talk about this behind closed doors. It's like, no, I mean, it is what it is now. The bad decision making, the bad relationship choices, the bad parenting, the bad fiscal irresponsibility, the bad attitudes, it's all public. you know, and it's all promoted and reinforced by other women themselves. So when a guy say, "Listen, man, I don't want no parts of that," or "I'm gonna rail against that," that's what it is. Like that's what it's gonna be. You know, you should be a better leader. You can't be led. When you're putting yourself out there bad and you're indignant about how bad you're gonna be. I don't, I, you know, mm-mm. It's ridiculous. Now, the other part about this, about the behind closed doors is you gotta understand we're adults talking. It's not like when the kids grow up and they have their own stories. You tell the kids to keep it behind closed doors. You can't be a hypocrite with that. Because if you want to keep it behind closed doors, we keep it all behind closed doors, not just the part that you don't like. And I think that in itself became a whole big thing where people they're not buying it anymore. People aren't children, they aren't pets. It's like, look, this is how you get down, and everybody knows it. And unfortunately, you got to understand that if we're talking about it publicly, you got to understand that you put this out publicly years before we talked about it, and you was happy that this is how I got a bad attitude. I'm independent. I don't like men. I like bad men. I like toxic relationships. I love it. 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 And I don't care what's going on. I don't care. You could say it, whatever, do whatever. Now people are saying whatever, and they're like, wait, let's take this in the back. Too late. It's too late for that. But tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Peace.